These are the best highlights from all the matches of the day during the 2024 LCK Summer Split.
They have Corki. They have a pick that is off meta can be.
Oh dear, there's the flash grasping roots. Deft able to walk out of it, but he still has to walk in the wrong direction, and first blood goes to FaZe. That is about as bad as it could have gone for KT, but best possible scenario for Gen.G. And it's going to be able to push him away. Canyon moving on down, he'll take the leash.
And it's another example of how powerful clear speed is, because what happened there was Canyon walks top, takes 2 grubs, then sees that the dragon is being taken, because KT is like, hey, if Canyon's top,
I really did want to have the rest. Yeah,
Atlas, you know this is a safe space to discuss emotions that you have regarding one of your favorite
mainly the Pyro, yeah. It's alright. Deft gonna have to give up this turret. Absolutely. As FearX rotating around, you can see Lehens. He really wanted to find that Zenith blade, but doesn't get an opportunity just yet. As Herald is going to fall down. Keen getting kited. That is a decent encore under 3. Perfect into the backline. Finds his counter-strike on everyone. Strangle Thorns is there defensively, but BDD finds the ulti and KT! They managed to manufacture a team fight, and it has not looked better outside of that part there where Keen manages to kill Perfect. Chovy trying to go 1v4. That ain't gonna work. Gen.G gonna get spotted as the Scryer's Bloom comes in. Extendo beam onto Beryl. He is pretty squishy. They will start off this dragon once again. There's the flash forward, flash out from Beryl though as FaZe immediately cleanses the Glacial Prison. And Deft feeling pretty safe at this point in time. Finds the arrow onto Canyon. There's the knock up, but the Strangle Thorns has gone down. It's Perfect that gets FaZe out of the fight though, and there is the kill onto Canyon that he finally finds. This time though, FaZe is still alive, and Keen just slices him up and gets out of there. Deft wanting to get a bit of damage back as there's the counter-strike from Perfect. The arrows are raining through though, and Perfect just wanting to find a pace, getting kited, and Deft finds the 1v1 at the end. It's a teleport to bring Keen back in though. And I don't know whether Deft wants to go for that particular 1v1 as well. At least this time he'll be able to walk his way out.
Keen is back in, and Keen is about to TP back in.
This is this is the time in the Matrix where they're like, he's beginning to believe. Because now finally, they're about to, get closed in on in a fight, and they just say, we win these.
Oh.
And they did, as Beryl very excited about the situation. As once again, Perfect on a flank angle. Gen.G full information. Goshik getting down low. Deft trying to find these volleys as Perfect gets into that backline. Another Stranglethorn's used on just the Jax. But it may work out here as it's a decent knockback. They take down the top laner, and Keen is absorbing so much BDD. He finds both carries in the backline, and FaZe is wiped out. This time, though, they managed to get Deft, and I think that Gen.G have enough damage left available, and FearX and Beryl will not be able to do it. FearX will at least have the last laugh as he's the one that decides his fate, but Beryl is walking the wrong direction. And Lehens is just going to let him go. They don't want to waste their time because they just want to take this Baron.
Here we see the problem for KT. Even though Perfect, man, I'm betting KT is very happy that that guy is back.
Oh,
Finds a great flank. BDD gets the carries. The problem for KT is that Gen.G, you might look at this and go, they have 3 very strong carries. But the reality is they have 4. Because Keen on his Cassante, similar level of insane combo. And I think you start to see Gen.G adapt as well, in that I feel like they're a lot more aware of the threat of that ultimate, in that they don't just pile up behind us.
Well, there it is! BDD finds all of them with that ulti. They do manage to at least get the kill on the Yone, and I think maybe the wallets are a bit too heavy, because look at that, the double from the grave.
I keep hoping for KT to find an even better angle. I just don't know if it's there.
Well, SolarFlare is going to slow down Deft, as now they do find an encore. We'll see whether that's it. It's just not. Beryl explodes like a balloon, and at least King gets knocked up, but he's just not taking damage. He dives in, gets the all out onto FearX. Flash out from Deft, but his health bar is just too low. And Chovy is going to push Perfect out of there. They keep everyone alive, and Gen.G, I think this is the push for the end here in game number 1. The same way that it used to anyway, is okay. Keen just being that brick wall. This Baron is just falling down lower and lower. They do a bit of damage here to Keen to start this one up, and the Baron is now going to lose interest in the
Look
fight.
at the base! Look at the base!
The Winions are getting the work done here, but KT, we know that they are committed to finding a team fight. Perfect gets himself over. Lehens was waiting for him, is now Chovy. He's going to get stunned up. Pays is going to fall down, and Perfect goes golden, avoids the Stranglethorns. The team fight's beautiful. We're trying to ignore the fact that the base is just getting torn to shreds anyway. There's the 1-for-1 in the end, but it's not really a 1-for-1 because Gen.G just needs to keep the busy. BDD, he doesn't manage to get Chovy, and Chovy once again doesn't have to flash. It's a double kill for Canyon, and Deft is the last man standing. Crushshot gonna try and slow him down, but we can see those really large red markers, and here we are now. Back into the base as the minions have just spawned, but there are supers here, and this is over. That's the ace for Gen.G. And KT, they found a couple of fights. That was really cool, but there was just nothing they could do in the end.
Worse than last time. And that's credit to KT for their adaptations in the bans. I think they definitely made the right call in that regard.
Then look to see where to go next. Of course, as the Zyra, you just have a lot of time to think about where you want to go, because you just kill these camps so incredibly fast. As Beryl is going to get hooked, and they hadn't backed, and he's not going to be able to heal. He does manage to get himself the shield, but that is once again first blood. This time, no Canyon required for the secondary portion. Although he is still ahead by more than a wave, up against BDD here, as there's Hex Flash, and Lehens going to get slowed down momentarily, doesn't quite find that hook, as now Deft able to avoid the extendo beam. Ulti from Pays. Beryl doesn't have his available, nor does Deft. They do want to be able to kill a minion or two to try and get level 6, as now Pays gonna get turned on. Still level 5 to level 6 from Pays, but in comes Canyon. There's the flash. Doesn't manage to get too much, but there is the hook from Lehens to lock down the kill for Pays once again. One whatsoever. And so doesn't have flash anymore, of course. Used that in the last exchange. See whether he needs it though, as this big wave is stacking up, and oh no, the grasping roots will connect for Pyoshik. He'll turn up immediately to get knocked up into the sky. Canyon locks down that first kill, and there's a hook once more. KT, it looked rough in game 1. It is looking absurdly difficult here in game number 2. Oh man, all right, Lehens, can he find the hook? Will he need to find the hook, I guess, is the question. As Pyoshik is going to flash it, but still has to invest it. And Keen is still doing, as Lehens misses a hook, so that might be an opportunity here for KT, who have done a damage to a turret here, as now BDD fighting against Chovy, but Canyon, he shows up. Pyoshik in the area, he'll find a Glacial Prison this time to get the knock-up. Ulti comes through as well. Can they kill Canyon? The answer is yes, as it's the arrow landing from downtown that collects it. And so Deft is on the board. He may immediately get punished as the hook goes completely wide. Deft still having the flash available as he uses it when he doesn't have to. So there we are. They deserved the flash.
Quickly, as an immobile mage. Saw an example of that there is, Pyoshik.
Gonna face check as Pyoshik does find the Winter's Wrath, and it does absolutely nothing. Kirby just makes it over to the rest of his team. Canyon gonna be able to lock down Drake number 2, and once again, it is that. This time Keen able to move in. He's going to play that front line. They managed to get the charge. It was Lehens, and Lehens is going to dive back in again. Use Shelly as a little bit of a speed boost, moving down towards that bottom side. Look at that, Drift King. Clipping through the walls and may just die, but it was very cool drifting, Lehens. Really nicely done. Love that.
Look at his face! That's the most Lehens moments.
That's the most. Dragon has been started up. Soul Point available for Gen.G as they teleport in. Chovy looking to make his way over. Pyoshik using the walk tactic very nicely, but so's Keen, and his does some damage. Pyoshik gonna have to get out of there. Permafrost does come on through. There's the ulti, but Pays just dodges out of the way. And BDD not going to have that for this next fight. Now Lehens moving down, wanting to find that rocket grab. We'll see whether he can get it as flashes abound. And that is another one. The ulti just going to pick it up. Speaking of ultis, Lehens uses his circle as well. The bottom lane is eviscerated, and Gen.G never even really need to go for too much of a fight because KT were already on the ground.
and then Lahens just flash shots. Here we go.
This is the replay. This is the replay that we have to be watching here. Is he's concentrating. He's concentrating. He's like, wait a second.
네, 전령. 아니, 형 그럴 것 같았어, 뭔가. 야, 너무 괘씸해.
Next game, and they're like, okay, we're sorry, boss. We'll do a little bit better.
And you were talking about item spikes. Trovy's hit a few of them now. He's 3,000 gold ahead. Perfect is probably dead here. As does manage to sidestep that one quite nicely, but the knockup still does come through, and Pei's going to lock up his 4th. That should mean that Gen.G can just waltz on over to this Baron, pick that one up for themselves, and then use that to empower the minions to take down the enemy base.
There's no winner. Like, eventually someone is either going to overextend in sideline or get caught by a hook.
Yeah.
Once you're this far behind, we'll see. KT can maybe get some exit kills, maybe get a Hail Mary team fight.
All right, there's a Glacial Prison as FearX tries to find it. The arrow goes entirely wide, though, unfortunately. Redemption is not going to be found in this game as the Extendo Beam is going to force the ultimate out of BDD. He's running away with about 400 health, and FearX, he is a bit Owen Wilson, but I just don't think that's going to be the answer here as Keen, he's even going to look for him. Does not want to risk any sort of response. As, Lahens over the wall, Chovy over the wall, and there is the hook. That's going to connect. Chovy's going to lock it up with a rocket. And so there it is. BDD is the only one that is still alive. I mean, perfect that he's on the bottom side. I think he's too worried, although BDD can still theoretically catch him as picks the gap there, does FearX. A little bit unfortunate as he manages to part the Red Sea, as it were. And a hook going to be avoided there with an Arctic Assault, but my goodness, the damage is just ridiculous. And they still have more in the tank, right? Canyon still with the Stranglethorns available as there is the Grasping Roots. He throws down that ultimate like I was talking about. And perfect, he has to get Wild Growth, but he's still taking so much damage. The hook is going to be avoided, so he'll be able to make it back to the fountain. But after they get their health bars back, where does the good news start for KT in this game?
There's no good news, Atlas. We both know that.
Yeah, it is.
It's not happening.
It's rocks in hard places, as we do like to talk about here in the LCK. And it's really trying to hold on, but it is just not going to work. It's 14,000 gold. Chovy walks at Deft, and Deft could do nothing about it as the rockets rain down. Nexus turret 1 will fall down. Nexus 2 sure to follow. And Gen.G just looking for a few extra kills as they melt them on their fountain. The MSI champions just toying with KT here, the only team that's been able to beat them in a best-of series this year, and it did not happen in the first round robin of Summer. That's absolutely for sure.
As that does mean that Hannah not going to be playing, I think, the pick that he has looked the best. Fight, fight, fight.
Oh, who is going to be able to get the smite is the question, as Raptor is just walking on over, and we have a bit of biffo here towards the bottom side. Executor's being lit on fire. Teddy just turning and burning, looking for this one. The flash does come through, but Teddy, he's flashing over. He'll find the first blood, and Hannah cannot do anything about it. It's completely forgotten about.
I frankly do not care who fights, but people were gonna fight, and it is, as you might expect, Execute ends up going in first as Yehu.
Yeah, is that spear missing, but the charge is going to come on through there as the swipe comes down. Raptor was slowed for a long time, gets the pounce just in the nick of time, and makes it out with 100 health. A couple of flashes were invested for it, but Yehu is still dead. Feeling incredibly comfortable. Speaking of which, we've got Pleta with a grand entrance moving towards this bottom side. Henna taking the brunt of the damage as now Raptor. What happened? There are so many bad guys here, and he is just going to get turned into mincemeat. That's going to be Sponge locking down the kill onto his opposite number, and they will be able to transfer.
The fact that you probably put KT smack dab in the middle.
Oh, I learned from my mistakes.
A valuable lesson on probability. So you can still win a lot of Drake fights just by hitting a spear or two on the backline. And we'll have to see if BNK can play around that, because Raptor right now is trying, but him alone is not enough. And this team needs to sync up if they want to contest this, and right now it doesn't looking like it's that likely.
Yeah, he wants to be able to get over it. The curtains have been called as Pleta taking a fair bit of damage. Spear will connect, but the Drake will be secured here by Sponge. FearX just going to get themselves out of there. Oh, another nice spear onto Pleta.
So that third jump, that's how I imagined that.
Man, he does a lot of flips in that jump. That's very, very cool.
Well, not on this character, you know, Wei's rather stationary.
Yeah, that's true. They need to sort of swap positions, right? If he was playing Tristana.
Oh,
I mean, Rocket Jump is actually, yeah, you know? Like
it is.
It's
You're
beautiful.
Goomba stomping on.
Exactly. We got a bit of a team fight coming up, so let's focus on that a little bit as the teleport does come on through. There's a flash head buff hold to come down as well, but it is an absolute mess inside that pit, and it's clear that comes out on top. Closer is out of there, keeps himself alive. They lock down this last grub as the curtains are being called, but unfortunately they're not going to find their markers. Frog does manage to soak a bit of it. Execute will be turned into a stake though, and that is in the end a 1-for-1, I believe.
FearX want to try and create chaos. BNK look for that classic front to back.
So far it's a lot of spears missing, but a fair bit of Yehu's abilities actually connecting. Most of them onto clear, so he is able to tank a bit of it, but Execute going down to about 3/4. Henna getting sniped as well. And the more they do this, the more they just traipse around the jungle, the more of these abilities are just gonna land. And they get some control, and it looks like it's going to be 2 Drakes to nothing in favor of DRX. And if this is what the setup and execution is going to look like in this game, then BNK is going to need to
Double TP.
find something better. As yeah, double TP and
It's Tristana.
it's Tristana, and they were never like. I think that was sort of like a race to see who gets the minions. Cinder's going to be picked up by everyone, as we do have an Infernal Soul. Back-to-back Chemtex into Infernal. Like least fun into most fun. As Clear going to have that one dodged. Arrow going to connect onto the Cassante as he was queuing there as well. And Teddy gonna lock up the kill. Wow, they CC'd Cassante? That was very, very cool. Okay,
that could be
Closer
done.
looking for an opportunity here, but it's gonna be Pleta finding the grand entrance. And yeah, who just says no?
Seeing that fire here. And if you just sit and poke, like obviously Nidalee could
Whoa.
do it. There we go!
Okay, there is the execute that we know and love. Is all right, Yahoo. Gonna try and get him out of here, but he's already lit on fire. The arrow sails by, looks fantastic. Yahoo just controlling the battlefield though, as Sponge is protecting him so beautifully. And they tried to do it 3 versus 1, but he stays alive, he gets out. And even Pleta's going to survive here as the explosive charge. It isn't quite enough. And BNK, yes, they managed to take down the turret, but they're once again getting corralled. I think they know that this is a bad news story.
Oh, look at Frog!
Yeah.
It's the deep flank!
That's a very deep flank, and you can see this Sponge just keeping them interested. Teddy, he does have the barrier available. Frog isn't quite here yet either, is now clear, dashes in, gets the all-out, and wins the 1v1 at the end. Yeah, who's going to be able to find that one though, and now Frog with the Dominus setup. It is so messy, but I think DRX is going to be able to clean it up here. They had to sacrifice Teddy for it, but they will not leave anyone standing on the side of BNK.
A whole lot better.
Woo! Hachiga! There he is. And he's the only one that died in the fight as well.
Look at him go!
He's like kills them all and then he just dances about. Oh man, and then gets punished immediately. All right, well that was sobering, wasn't it? As we come back to live, Teddy having a little dance and then straight back to a gray screen.
Having the IE and using his ult as I imagine Execute died.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we did see
Jonas Strong had the little pan over.
Oh,
so
oh, Teddy. Oh, Teddy.
that is beautiful. And
'Cause
look
without
at the
that, there's no
ultimate
way they can go.
cooldown.
Yeah.
It just came back up.
Yeah. So is
Oh.
it really just...
I
Closer's
guess
really
just,
trying, man.
Yeah, he just stacks it up and then he dies. For BNK to deal with.
This is a must-win for BNK, Atlas. You can't give
Exactly.
over Infernal.
Infernal Soul just massive. That's the snare though, and look at that, the kitchen sink just rains down from upstairs. The spiraling despair is named so perfectly here. And that's the jungler down. Clear now having to go in because they can't let this go through. But look at it. It's Teddy free firing the entire time. Closer tries to get it done, but the knock-up is kind of beautiful here from Sponge. And Teddy A goes down to 100 health, but he gets the work done that he needs to. And now Henna, no frontline left standing. In fact, no one else on his team. And Yahoo is just chasing him down. He's going to miss that Q, though. BNK cannot really deal with at this point in time. It's just feeling like too many fights that they've managed to win as in goes Sponge once again. Raptor's going to have to flash. The arrow was sailing through as well. Pleta finds the knock-up, but maybe they've overstepped as Battle Dance gets Pleta out of there, but Sponge may not be as lucky. Does have the Crescent Guard available, though, as he dives on top of Closer. Dangerous here, but they do manage to trade it back in the end. Top laner for jungle. Baron on the map, though. Certain possibility.
Bruiser / off-tank built with that Renner's Frog, by the way. I know you already highlighted it, but
Yeah.
Frog on Renekton is built different. Frog in general, jury's still out.
Yeah.
Frog on Renekton, though.
I think he hasn't died yet on Renekton in the LCK.
Makes sense.
Which is pretty impressive. His execute just gets them into the pit together, and they take the Baron.
The one thing that I want to avoid...
It took a bit of thinking.
It really did, because I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this, because this game realistically should be over. There is Infernal. The reason why I'm scared is because of moments like this.
Yep, there's the ulti as Pleta. Oh, Buster Shot, perfect timing as he stands in front of Sponge, doing his job beautifully. No curtain's going to be called over this Xin Zhao. And this is the problem.
That's what I was...
You think you catch Xin, and you've never caught Xin. Execute on a decent flank angle. Pleta trying to get him out of there, though, so does at least spot out exactly where this cow is. Elder being tanked here by BNK. Is the arrow going to connect onto the Kazante? They just pile in on top as Execute. He's just not there in time. And Clear, unfortunately, is just wiped from the rift. The flash forward from Frog. Frog keeps that KDA alive, my friend, and he absolutely will. DRX just roll over the team fight. They can get themselves an Elder if they want to, or they can just take a Nexus. It is entirely up to them.
And DRX take a commanding win here in the first game between these two. BNK just doesn't look at any point like they were able to play their game. Execute having a really rough one. Clear as well. That front line not feeling too tanky, but I gotta credit where credit is due. DRX, they look like a well-oiled machine here in game number one.
There's going to be a lot of hybrid damage coming out from the Kai'Sa, so I guess they don't need to feel too priced into an AP jungler, but Viego is not... It's not making me feel Viego as Clear probably looking for a back timing, but wants to get this wave in a better spot than where it is right now. And Frog sets up that shield for himself, and oh dear, Clear just walked right into it. The flash does come out before he gets pounded into the wall, but he's Kazante. Flash forward does come in, and that is first blood going to Frog. I thought that maybe he was out, but he was not. DRX not denied. Far away from the rest of the team here as the teleport is going to come in from Yehu. He can get over this wall pretty comfortably.
Clear is running.
Down to 50%. This is only the second here. DRX don't necessarily need to go all in for this one, but the boulder is going to connect. There's the Weaver's Wall to trap DRX in here. The Closer not actually going to use it, and it is going to be the Drake secured here by DRX. Seismic Shove goes wide as well. And BNK, I think they're just going to be backing away from this one. There's the flash, Solar Flare. There he goes once again, but Pleta this time is going to be punished in an instant. The Impale is decent from Frog, but there is zero follow-up. And they might be able to get a Kazante, but no, he just flashes out. DRX, you didn't have to do that. Oh dear, Yehu, he's in trouble. There is the flash to get himself out of the way. Sponge diving on in. The Pulverize comes down as well. They may have bitten off more than they could chew, but it looked cool while they were doing it.
Did it?
I guess.
Did it, Atlas?
I mean, at the beginning, the start of the fight was good.
I don't think it looked cool. It's just gonna have to be a fight.
Oh, Teddy gonna have to immediately flash. Henner is just diving on top of him here, but Teddy wants it, and he'll find the solo bolo. Raptor also burning to death here as Pleta tanked up so much of this damage. Clear is going to execute him in the end, and the Void Seeker not gonna find the mark. Teddy wanting to take down Execute, but Frog's right there with that one. And Sponge, he gets to play his favorite champion, just turns into Talia and takes him down. I now get it. It's dawned on me, that's how he plays Talia. He just gets Closer to pick her so that he can kill him and play her. Closer moving back in. Of course, we've got so many champions that can just be there at a moment's notice. Killer Instinct and Weaver's Wall on both sides of this fight. Sponge taking a bit of damage here as in goes Raptor. Pleta just knows exactly what's going on, though they dive in on top of the jungler. He does get cease and desist off, but he's not able to take down Teddy, and it's a double for Yehu to start off the fight. Teddy is smashed out of there, but Execute cannot get it done. Closer still doing a fair bit of work, but look at Frog. Frog. He is just a beast. And Teddy will now be able to get some damage. They're not able to get the dragon, though. That's a bit of a disaster. Finally, they do manage to get some of this work done as Closer gets over the wall and Teddy gets there with the Acathian Rain. That was way closer than it had any right to be. FearX deny the soul, but it's an ace for DRX. Kind of cute. It's completely like neither here nor there, but it was very funny as we've got another fight breaking out here. Nice stun. Gonna come down yet again, and Raptor just explodes. Henna now throws down the ultimate. He is burst firing, finding a few options, but they managed to take down Closer in amongst it, and Henna just cannot do enough. It's a triple kill for Teddy in the end, and finally, Yahoo decides that it's Henna's time to die. Henna is gonna back away from there, but this should be the Baron. A clean 2-0 for DRX, what? And so, I don't think anyone's going to be out DPSing this Isa in this game.
After last spring, I think it's important to remember how rough that was for this DRX roster.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, a really big moment. Getting a win this decisive.
Whoa! Well, BNK might be able to do some damage here to Frog, who impales a couple of people and will then eventually die. This will be a sacrifice of an inhibitor turret, I believe, but maybe it won't, because now BNK are in a good position to rotate down. They are going to do so immediately. Backs are going to come in. This could actually cost a whole lot of Baron time for DRX. Really nice play to try and hold on to this game from BNK.
Finding the angle. Oh, they're looking for the exit. 25 seconds still. Frog is back.
Okay.
And Gale isn't here.
Yeah, Execute moving down. Pleta finds a Zenith blade. Immediately he's looking to try and get out of there, as now, speaking of getting out of there, Sponge is going to do the same thing, but they just dogpile him. They jump right on top and they're able to take down the Viego. And DRX kind of routed. They do show themselves, though, as they get out of the brush. Frog teleporting in. 50% health on this dragon. BNK got to pull the trigger at some point. Let's see who locks this one down. It is going to be the secure by Raptor. So no soul to come in. The Rock's playing a huge part, but the seismic shove doesn't hit the mark. The all-out comes in. They manage to get rid of Pleta, and now DRX are trying to bail out of the situation. They get the crash though, and Raptor goes down as well. The Void Seeker comes through. Teddy, remember, he's 706, he's massive, but he dives on in. Execute's going to be taken down. It's raining Acathian on top of the cow. The Viego's going to fall as well, and Klee, you thought you were a tank? Not to this Kai'Sa, my friend. And Henna, he's just going to have to back away as well. The Void Seeker comes in, no killer instinct, but Frog, he just, picks him up with that E ability that should be an R. And he's just going to throw him against the wall. Okay, Closer gets himself out of there with the wall, but this could be the fight DRX used to win the game. Sendo Beam, they want to break this shield so bad.
It's going to evaporate. This is Kai'Sa and Stana. And Viego?
Yeah. And Pleta is just going to say no to anyone turning up. Yeah,
it's gone.
Before it's even up, it is down. And Execute might be able to start some sort of fight here, but the Baron is not on the cards anymore for them. 2 minutes on the next Dragon, the next opportunity for a Soul. And a Soul point availability here for BNK if they're able to get another steal. But they do have mid lane control. That's going to give them another mid lane outer turret.
That's a bounty.
Yeah, so that's pulling it back to about 6k, I believe. So wasn't really able to work here. As Solar Flare also a little bit wanting, you could say. But DRX, I think they have them where they want them. Frog is an absolutely gigantic health bar. Staring down BNK.
Look at the bot wave. At some point, someone on BNK is going to have to respond.
Yeah.
Most likely Closer because he has TP. But that should still provide the opportunity. Again, Baron isn't real when it comes to DRX. Okay, this is going to be gone in seconds.
Well, you can see Execute wanting to get there in seconds, and the rest of BNK are in the area. Stendo Beam doing some work here as Execute does throw down the ulti. There's the Impale, but it's onto the cow. Not exactly the priority target. And Sponge gets out of the pit. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but they managed to take down the biggest tank. And Teddy, he still wants to be able to get in there. There's a killer instinct, goes golden, manages to avoid the seismic shove, but now he's in a really awkward spot. He needs to be the one to carry this, and Henna, it's gonna go down. Teddy! He just wipes BNK off the map! And that was almost a disaster. Yeah, he's just gonna win the game. I think he would have won the game anyway, but that's the 2-0 for DRX, and such an important game for them up against BNK.
These were some of the best highlights from the 2024 LCK Summer Split matchups of the day. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.